the Freemasons with the Jesuits collaborated to capture America. That's what you need to understand. You really need to understand that. They collaborated, and it makes sense because you had all of the Protestants, the Puritans, the Scottish Covenanters all coming here, really fleeing the Catholic Church, knowing it was the rise of the beast with them. And so the Catholic Church knew it couldn't just come in here and control, because the Catholic Church all through Europe, England, it controls kingships, it controls kings. They work to help each other, to control the people and be in charge. But when America was being created, well, they had to go about it a different way. So the Jesuits created the Freemasons. So when you hear this fight that, no, the Catholic Church doesn't like the Freemasons. No, they did. Because it's how they could, that's how they were able to capture America. That's the reason DC looks like Rome. Now, you will hear from all of your officials in the White House all year long. The 250th birthday, oh, the beautiful things. Look at what God's done for this country. No, God's been waiting for Americans to be the first country, because Israel never did it. Once Israel was given a king, they always wanted one, but it was a rejection of God. God's bar that America has to meet is the remnant in America has to actually get to the place where we realize we don't want the leaders anymore. We want God to be the leader, that we will place God ahead of money, that we will place God ahead of work, that we will place God ahead of government, ahead of everything. Then God will see, oh, they're doing my will, so I will bring my kingdom. The Jesuits don't want you to do that. The Catholic Church doesn't want you to do that. None of the churches this day and age want you to do that, because they don't really want God's kingdom. They want their own. But there's a remnant in America that God knows can meet this challenge. A remnant. And I see them. They know, I think some of them know who they are. That's the challenge they have to meet to flip it. See, using the Freemasons was an easy way for the Catholic Church to still have control and set up DC, because the Jesuits set it up as the Freemason system. And that wrote our Constitution. And you may say, but I love our Constitution. Oh, well, okay, but it really doesn't do a whole lot. But it was to serve the elites. And they captured us. The Catholic Church captured us through the Freemason system ever since. Again, the Jesuits created the Freemasons. And then to all appearances, it's like, well, no, the Freemasons hate the Vatican, and the Vatican hates the Freemasons. Well, yeah, that's exactly how they played it. So that the 1776ers, when they'd go to write the Constitution, it would seem like that wouldn't be a concern, because you had Protestants back then that were like, no, we don't want this Catholic influence. Well, the Freemasons were the enlightened crowd, except that the Jesuits had set them up. And it's simple. They're both male-dominated societies. The Vatican is, it always has been a male-dominated society. The Freemasons are. And then what results from that, the tentacles, you have Skull and Bones, Book and Snake, Scroll and Key, Bellaris, St. Elmo's Fire, and that's just at Yale. Those male-dominated secret societies. All across this country, your Ivy League schools and even your non-Ivy League schools have your male-dominated secret societies. Everywhere. That's how you capture a country and serve only yourselves. While you say, no, we do charity work, okay, you do some charity work. You really only take care of your own. You have people in place in all departments. But it's really the Catholic Church that got control of America. The very thing that the Protestants didn't want to see happen. They just got control of it through the Freemasons. Not to mention, then they came in, set up all their churches, their education system. But God knew this would happen, but God also knew, no, there's going to come this point, and I'm going to raise people up to tell others that are remnants, that are remnants in America that need to rise up, and I'm waiting to see those people turn to me and say, no, only you, God, and that is what will change all of it. All of it. They'll celebrate the Freemasons and the Constitution all this year. You'll hear all these, all these tear-jerking moments and stories, and it's like America was captured with the Freemasons through the Jesuits, through the Catholic Church, the very thing the Protestants didn't want to happen. JFK Sr., God didn't intervene for a reason, because he was loyal to the foreign influence there in Rome. He kneeled the knee, and he was president. So God wasn't intervening there, and didn't intervene with RFK Sr. either, because they also were going to just take us further into a nightmare. Those are the enemies. So while they tell you the Freemasons did this and the Freemasons did that, their symbolism of the Jesuits and Freemasons is the same. The Jesuits, the Catholic Church, used the Freemason system while acting like they hated it, but used it because they couldn't capture America, but they could use the Freemasons to do it. The Enlightenment. So, just understand that. But putting all that aside, because they'll highlight these people as heroes, that's all you'll hear all this year. I'm just going to block it out of my mind, that nonsense, because what God's looking for is, I have a remnant in America, and that remnant will hear what I'm saying, and that will have the strength to say, no, I will not put government before God. I will not put money before God. I will not put my job before God. I will surrender entirely to God for every moment, just like the Israelites had to do in Exodus. Complete surrender to Him. It doesn't mean everybody in the country has to do it, because clearly there's people that can't do it, but God knows there's a remnant here, and He knows that remnant can do it. And when He sees that remnant do it, well, it's like a switch, and you'll all of a sudden see a flip happen, because then God will bring His kingdom and push the Freemasons out, push all of the people that have just captured this country out, and then it will be Him being the leader, because we did His will. That's what He's been waiting. Do my will, not take part in half of the kingdom and the other half think that you can be with me. No, I want full feet with me. There's a remnant in America, that's what God wants, that will do it, that I think is already doing it. That's what will flip it. Then it won't matter what little parties they want to have all through their American birthday. While they can all, when all the government and all the politicians enjoy their parties about, oh, the Freemasons did this and the Freemasons did that, God will be working on His own kingdom of bringing it here, because it won't be anything like what they created. It'll be the real deal. So just realize that since the Catholic Church couldn't capture America itself, the Jesuits created the Freemasons to capture it for them. That's why there were so many Freemasons during 1776 that wrote our precious documents. Beware. Americans have to step up, and they will. When they do, God will flip this script like no tomorrow.